why was Fortnite lawless mid? Now what's going on, guys? This is a halal experience. I'm gonna be reviewing chapter 6 season 2. I know I don't have Fortnite footage. I literally did not record a single video in lawless, so I got Warzone gameplay for you guys. But anyways, let's dive in. So Fortnite lawless chapter 6 season 2. Now of course this season ended like a few weeks ago, but my ass got lazy, so I didn't record a video. So we're currently in the Star Wars season right now, which in my opinion is mid. But how was Fortnite lawless season 2? Well, I'm going to break down why I think this season was just kind of decent. I still think it's a good season. I just think that it wasn't the GOATs. It wasn't part of the GOATs. The best seasons of all time. Okay, starting off, we have to dive into the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass is one of my most important things when I look at a Fortnite season. I'm a guy who loves cosmetics in Fortnite. It made me attracted to Fortnite, wanting to actually play this game. It gave its unique identity of, having good cosmetics. So, what is the Battle Pass like in Lawless? Well, I'll just say it is decent. I don't think it's that great, and I don't think it's, that bad either. We have some skins like Outlaw Midas, which are cool, but again, this is Midas for the 50th time. And then we have skins like Sub-Zero, who's another collab skin that just doesn't fit the theme of the season at all. They could have at least gave him some type of edit style where he's wearing a suit or something to match like the freaking season. I don't know, they could have gave him a gold style, but they just put him in there just cuz, and he was tier 100, even though Fletcher Kane was the main big guy in this season and he was like freaking tier 40 or something. As for Fletcher Kane, he's kind of mid. He looks pretty good, but his shoes and stuff look kind of goofy in my opinion. Then we got the boy Big Dill. Big Dill, I gotta say, is the best skin in his Battle Pass. It's a meme skin, but bro's got the shiesty, and you know me, I love shiesty. So this guy is definitely the best skin in the Battle Pass. As for the rest of the skins, they're all just female skins, and they're kind of just mid, and yeah, I'd never use them, and they just look weird and annoying. So Battle Pass, I'd give this a 6 out of 10. I think it's just alright, and the super styles were pretty good. We had the Outlaw Opal, which was pretty good. It was like this galaxy theme, but again, we've seen the same types of super styles so many seasons, so yeah. Okay, next we gotta talk about the map. So the map is also another really important aspect, because I think chapter 4 was one of the best chapters because it has such a solid map, especially in season 1. But how is Lawless's map? Well, Lawless basically tried to take the same thing that chapter 2 season 2 did with the whole crime and vaults and stuff. I don't know why I'm yapping in this game, but yeah, we had vaults and stuff in that season, and here we got them back. But the problem is in Lawless is that a lot of the locations just feel the same. They're all just cities, and they have the same color scheme, and the vaults themselves are like pretty much the same inside. Whereas if you compare this chapter 2 season 2, we had the grotto with freaking Brutus, an underground skull cave, and then we had Midas's agency in the middle, which was this giant agency with like, it was huge, everyone was lying there. And then we had the Fortilla, and like this oil rig and stuff. You had so many different locations that felt different from each other, but in this it's just all cities that are kind of the same. Crime City was a little different, but that's pretty much it. The rest were just cities, and they just have the same color scheme, gold, black, and same vaults and stuff, and yeah. And then also the map itself, I'm just not a fan of chapter 6's map. I just think it's a weird circle, doesn't have really good shapes. There's no middle POIs, there's no POIs that stand out, that fill in the role for tilted towers in this. I just think it's mid. Alright, next we gotta talk about the actual loot pool. So the loot pool is actually the best loot pool ever, like one of the best we've ever had. But the problem is you can't experience it 80% of the time. What they did in this season was they brought in like dill bits, which were kind of like the special currency in this season. And when you had to get a dill bit by either purchasing it from the NPC if you did certain quests, or you had to loot a vault and get a dill bit from there. Then you would have to go all the way to one of these black market sites to then go in there and have a chance that the exotic or mythic weapon you want spawn there, because sometimes they just spawn randomly, and sometimes some other idiot already bought it and it's out of stock. Because of that, I never experienced half of the things in this. I think I used every weapon maybe once or twice. I got the Midas drum gun a few times, but as for a lot of the other things, like the Shockwave RPG, I got that thing like once. I used it once and I got it from killing someone. And I think that's what really ruined the loot pool in the season. The actual loot itself that you could get from the ground was really fun. You had cool shotguns, you had some outlaw shotgun and stuff, and then you had the, drill and the bat. Those things were fun to use, and the heals were great too. The, med, smoke mist thingy was pretty good. But the actual fun weapons like the Midas drum gun or the random exotics was just a terrible way of getting it. But what I will say is that this season really did give gold a purpose. I know I haven't played a lot of the seasons in the past, so I may have missed a season that did the same, but I really did feel in this season that gold was really required. If you didn't have gold, you couldn't purchase the best of the best weapons, and the black market would be completely useless for you. And you could skip the whole early looting game if you went to the black market and bought a ton of loot there with gold. They also added reboot vans, like a new feature where you could buy your boy's reboot card and you don't have to physically pick it up, which I think just should have been something from the start, because sometimes people or your teammates, they just don't cooperate, they die in a stupid way, and it's just impossible to get the reboot card anymore. So the fact that now you can buy it like in Warzone is perfect. I think that's really good. But honestly, if they had just had a different system where each of the exotics and mythics were always at a certain black market, or you could just buy any that you wanted just in any of the black markets, they just spawn in all of them, and they had unlimited stock, then I think that this would have been the best season for actual loot pooling, because you could just buy whatever weapon you wanted and it would feel a lot different from the other seasons. Next is the story. Now the story is kind of weird. Fortnite's story really fell off after chapter 3, and it's just been in a weird spiral of just random stuff going on. But I think this season kind of took itself a little seriously, where you had Fletcher Kane and Midas doing their own things. You had people that were rallying against Fletcher Kane because he raised the island's taxes. That's why we had the black markets, which was really cool. And then you had Fletcher Kane, basically, I think he paid Daigo or something to open the portal to the random dimension thing. So it was really cool, but again, we don't know what happened to Fletcher Kane. He probably just died in some random dumb way off screen, which is just how Fortnite does their villains, and it just sucks. And then also, you had all this anticipation of opening up this portal, and then bam, Star Wars season. Like, it just makes absolutely no sense. So I think the story again is just mid. Now overall, what do I think of this season? Now I think I'd give this season a solid 6.5 out of 10. I think it had a really good foundation, but it just messed up a lot in its execution. You had a really good battle pass with some pretty good skins like Big Dill, but then you just brought in random collab skins like Sub-Zero with no reason, Outlaw Midas, who we've seen 1,000 different times, and just random NPC skins no one cares about. Then for the map, you had some cool locations like Crime City, but you just decided to copy and paste that around the entire map, which just really took it away. And as for the loot pool, you had one of the best loot pools of all time, but the Epic fumbled with their execution because you could barely get it because of how hard it was to get a dill bit, and then having to run all the way to a black market and just have a chance of that exotic that you wanted just not spawning there or being out of stock. So that was just horrible. But in the end, when you were able to play and you were able to get all these fun items, like even the medallions, I forgot to talk about them, but the Fletcher Kane's medallion was really fun to play with. It made you run like crazy. It was really fun to play with. When you had his medallion, when you had Amidas's drum gun and the shockwave launcher and just all that, those fun loots that you can find, then it is one of the funnest seasons of all time. But because majority of the time you didn't have that, and you would just be overpowered or underpowered against other players who did, the season just kind of felt very mid. And in terms of the story, it was cool, but then Epic just never delivers in their ending. We didn't have a live event, and I know Epic kind of slowed down with the live events, but I mean, could we get one? I think we had one last season, but I miss when we had them like every season. So we didn't have that. And then we just got a Star Wars season, which is just kind of disappointing. But overall, it did what it needed to do. It wasn't so bad that I just didn't play, but but it was good enough to just keep me there and wanting to enjoy Fortnite, and every day anticipating a new update. And then, yeah, their updates were also really cool. We had Scorpion, like Sabrina Carpenter, which I don't care about, but Scorpion, and then I think we got a lot of new exotics and stuff. So it was really cool with its updates, but just the execution was just horrible. So yeah, that's been it for me, guys. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and yeah, catch you later.